Silence here is manufactured. It is not the silence of nature, but the silence of a held breath. Elias Moore, 60s, black, built like a retired linebacker who now moves with careful, deliberate slowness, stands on his porch. He is wiping a speck of dirt from a pristine, white ceramic coffee mug. He rubs the spot once, twice. He inspects it against the harsh sunlight. He takes a sip. The coffee is black. He looks out at his yard. It is 5 acres of flat, manicured grass. Too manicured. The grass height is uniform, cut to exactly 2 inches. There are no weeds. There are no flowers, just green, flat precision. In the center of the yard there is a picnic table. It is made of heavy oak. It is set for 3 people. There are 3 plates, 3 forks, 3 napkins. Elias is the only person here. He walks down the porch steps, the wood not creaking under his weight. He carries a basket. Inside are 2 loaves of fresh sourdough bread, not sliced, whole. He walks to the picnic table. He places 1 loaf on the left side, 1 loaf on the right side. He sits in the middle. He waits. He checks his watch, an old Timex with a leather strap worn smooth by decades of sweat. Elias, whispering. Wind's coming from the east today. He sits there for 10 minutes. He does not eat. He watches the tree line. At the edge of his property, the trees shiver, not from wind. A black SUV, polished to a mirror shine, rolls out of the dirt road and stops exactly at the property line. It does not cross. It idles. The engine creates a low, subsonic hum that vibrates the water in Elias's glass on the table. Elias does not look at the car. He picks up the loaf on his left. He breaks it in half with his bare hands. The sound of the crust cracking is loud in the silence. The driver's door of the SUV opens. A young man steps out. He is wearing a high-visibility vest over a tailored suit. He holds a clipboard like a shield. This is Marcus, 30s, white, nervous energy. He doesn't look like a villain. He looks like an intern who has been sent to do a job he doesn't understand. Marcus walks to the fence. There is no gate. Marcus, Mr. Moore? Elias chews a piece of bread. He looks at the bread, not the man. Marcus, louder. Mr. Moore, I'm from the county assessment office. We sent you 3 letters. Elias places the bread down. He turns his head slowly. His face is unreadable. No anger, no fear, just a heavy, patient boredom. Elias, I read them. Marcus, right. Well, we didn't get a response. So my supervisor asked me to come down here, just to check the soil grading. It's a formality for the new zoning map. Elias, the soil is fine. Marcus, I'm sure it is, but the tech park expansion. The grading lines are shifting. We just need to stick a few sensors in the ground. 10 minutes. Elias stands up. He is tall. From this distance, he looks like a statue carved from granite. Elias, no sensors. Marcus, Mr. Moore, it's just the perimeter. Elias, softly. If you put a sensor in this ground, you will break the seal. Marcus blinks. Marcus, the seal? Elias, go back to your office, son. Tell Mr. Sterling that the soil pH is 6.5, the density is compacted, and the bread is fresh. Marcus looks at the empty seats at the picnic table. He looks at the 2 loaves of bread. He feels a chill that has nothing to do with the temperature. Marcus. Who? Who are you waiting for? Elias sits back down. Elias. Nobody you can help. Marcus hesitates, then retreats to the SUV. He drives away, kicking up dust. Elias watches the dust settle. He looks at the 2 empty seats. He reaches out and touches the cold wood of the table. Elias, to the empty seats. Don't worry, I'm not leaving. Act 2. Silent pressurant, municipal building, waiting room, day. 2 weeks later. The lights are fluorescent and humming. The air smells of floor wax and stale coffee. Elias sits on a plastic chair. He is wearing a suit that is 20 years out of style, but pressed to razor-sharp perfection. He holds a manila folder on his lap. His hands are folded over it. He has been sitting there for 3 hours. Across the room, the receptionist, Sheila, 50s, tired, glasses on a chain, types loudly. She hasn't looked at him since he checked in. A door opens. A man walks out. This is Councilman Sterling, 50s, polished, silver hair, the kind of smile that doesn't reach his eyes. He is talking to a younger associate, ignoring the waiting room. Sterling. Just eminent domain it if we have to, but I'd prefer a voluntary buyout. It looks better for the press release. He stops as he sees Elias. Sterling's smile tightens by a fraction of a millimeter. He recognizes Elias, not as a person, but as an obstacle. Sterling, Mr. Moore. I didn't know you were on the schedule. Elias stands up. He moves slowly, forcing Sterling to wait. Elias. I'm not. I'm here to pay my property tax. Sterling. Sheila can help you with that. Elias. Sheila says the system has flagged my parcel. Says it's under review. Sterling chuckles. It's a condescending sound, like an adult explaining rain to a toddler. Sterling. Well, yes. As you know, the Apex Tech Initiative is moving forward. Your land. It's right in the middle of the proposed server farm cooling runoff. It's a safety issue, really. We can't have residential zones that close to industrial coolant lines. Elias. I was there before the lines. Sterling sighs. Mr. Moore, look. We're offering you fair market value, plus 20%. You're a single man out there. It's a lot of upkeep. We have a lovely senior community in East Side. Very culturally vibrant. The racism is subtle, wrapped in a brochure of concern. Go be with your own kind. Stop blocking progress. Elias looks at Sterling. He studies Sterling's shoes, Italian leather, his watch, Swiss, and the slight tremble in Sterling's left hand, caffeine or stress. Elias. I don't want a community. I want my house. Sterling. It's not just a house, Elias. Can I call you Elias? It's a liability. We've found irregularities in your deed. A survey from 1984 was never filed correctly. Technically, the county owns the easement leading to your driveway. The threat hangs in the air. We can lock you out of your own home. Elias. You're going to block the road? Sterling. We're going to repair the road. For safety. It might take months. If you can't access the property, well, the uninhabited dwelling code kicks in. Sterling smiles. It is a violent smile. Sterling. Take the check, Elias. Buy yourself something nice. Maybe take a trip. Visit family? Elias's expression doesn't change. Elias. My family comes to me. Sterling laughs. I've seen the surveillance reports, Elias. Nobody comes to you. You buy 3 dinners a week and you eat alone. You're holding onto a ghost. Elias tightens his grip on the folder. Just slightly. Elias. You cut that road, Mr. Sterling, and you will open a door you cannot close. Sterling. Is that a threat? Elias. It's a diagnostic. Sterling shakes his head and walks away. Sterling. Start the road work tomorrow, Sheila. Act 3, point of no return XT, Elias's property, night 3 days later. The road is gone. Where the gravel driveway used to be, there is now a 6-foot trench. Orange plastic fencing surrounds Elias's property like a quarantine zone. A heavy generator hums nearby, powering floodlights that shine directly into Elias's bedroom window. It is psychological warfare, sleep deprivation, isolation. Inside the kitchen, Elias sits in the dark. He has covered the windows with black construction paper. He sits at the kitchen table. The 2 extra loaves of bread are there. They are stale now. He opens the manila folder. Inside are not legal deeds. They are old, yellowing drawings. Crayon on construction paper. One drawing shows a tall black man holding hands with a small white boy and a small Asian girl. The caption, written in childish scrawl, Mr. Elias fixes the bikes. Beneath the drawings are receipts, thousands of them. Western Union, $200. Tuition transfer, $5,000. Medical bill, $12,000. Elias was a janitor, a groundskeeper, but for 20 years, every cent he made went into these receipts. He didn't just feed them, he built them. He closes the folder. The phone rings. It is a landline. He picks it up. Sterling, VO, ha, distorted by static. Power gets cut tomorrow, Elias. Grid maintenance. It's going to be 90 degrees. Elias, I have a well. Sterling, we're capping the aquifer. Contamination risk. You're done. The sheriff is coming Friday morning to escort you off the premises for your own protection. Elias, silence. Sterling, are you there? Elias, I'm here. Sterling, don't make this ugly. Elias, Mr. Sterling, do you know why I bought this land 30 years ago? Sterling, because it was cheap. Elias, no, because of what is buried under it. Sterling, laughs. What? Gold? Oil? Elias, fiber optics. The transatlantic trunk line redundancy. The backbone for the entire eastern seaboard's banking sector. It runs 10 feet under my picnic table. There is a pause on the line. Sterling. That's classified infrastructure. You couldn't possibly know that. Elias. I didn't just mow the grass at the Institute, Mr. Sterling. I read the trash. I know where the cables are. And I know that if you dig that trench 3 more feet to the left, you're going to kill the New York Stock Exchange for about 4 hours. Sterling, you're bluffing. Elias, come Friday. Bring the sheriff, but bring a shovel too. I want you to be the one to dig. Elias hangs up. He walks to the fridge. He takes out a bottle of water. It is his last one. He looks at the calendar on the wall. The date is circled in red. Anniversary. He sits down. He does not sleep. Act 4. Dominance without violence XT. Elias's property. Day, Friday, noon. The sun is blistering. The orange fencing glows like neon. A convoy arrives. Sterling's SUV, 2 sheriff's cruisers, a bulldozer. Sterling steps out. He looks sweaty and impatient. He's wearing a hard hat, which looks ridiculous on him. Sterling, to the sheriff, get him out. Use the mental health clause if he resists. He's delusional. The sheriff, 40s, bulky, sympathetic but following orders, nods. Sheriff Mr. Moore, this is the sheriff's department. Elias walks out onto the porch. He is wearing his best Sunday suit. He is holding a remote control device. It looks like a garage door opener. Sterling, he's got a detonator. Gun. The deputies draw their weapons. Elias calmly, put them away. It's for the sprinklers. Elias presses the button. Click. Nothing happens. The water is cut, remember? But Elias isn't looking at the sprinklers. He is looking at the bulldozer. Elias, Mr. Sterling, I told you about the cables. Sterling, stop the games. Tear down the porch. The bulldozer engine revs. It moves forward, crushing the manicured grass. It aims for the porch stairs. Elias doesn't move. He doesn't flinch. He just watches his watch. Elias 3, 2, 1. Suddenly, every phone in the sheriff's pockets starts buzzing. Sterling's phone rings. The bulldozer driver's radio screeches with static. Sterling looks at his phone. It's his boss. He answers. Sterling. Sir, we're just handling the... Boss, VO. Screaming so loud it's audible outside the phone. Stop. Shut it down. Shut it all down. Sterling. What? Why? Boss, VO. We just lost connection to the primary data center in Virginia. We're dark. The feds are involved. They're saying there's a localized interference signal coming from those coordinates. Sterling looks at Elias. Elias is holding the garage opener. He presses the button again. Click. The buzzing stops. The static clears. Elias, voice projecting clearly. I didn't cut the cable, Mr. Sterling. I wouldn't do that. I just turned on my microwave emitter. It's an old piece of tech I salvaged. Sits right on top of the shielded line. When I turn it on, the noise is deafening for the data. Sterling, pale. You jammed the banking sector? You'll go to prison for life. This is terrorism, Elias. No, this is home security. You are trespassing on a federal easement. I am the registered caretaker of that easement. Elias reaches into his pocket and pulls out a laminated ID card. It is old. It says, Department of Defense, Infrastructure Maintenance, Level 5 Clearance. Elias, I didn't just keep the grounds, son. I kept the secrets. Sterling stares at the ID. The power dynamic flips. The poor old man is a retired guardian of the state's jugular. Sterling. It doesn't matter. The corporation owns the deed now. We can overwrite your clearance. We have lawyers who can bury you. Elias. You have lawyers. Elias looks up at the sky. Elias. I have children. Sterling. What? Elias. I told you. I fed them. I taught them. And I told them to be here for lunch. A sound begins. Low at first. Like the hum of the SUV in Act 1, but deeper, stronger. The wind picks up. The dust from the trench begins to swirl. Sterling looks up. The sheriff looks up. Sterling, is that news? Elias, number Act 5. Aftermath, not victory. The sound becomes a roar. A helicopter crests the tree line. It is sleek, black, military grade but civilian markings. Then a second helicopter. Then a third. They are not landing on the grass. There isn't room. They hover, whipping the orange fencing into the air, blowing Sterling's hard hat off his head. The lead helicopter descends, crushing the quarantine fence with its landing skids. It lands right next to the picnic table. The side door opens. Two figures step out. One is a woman, 30s, Asian descent, sharp suit, terrifying presence. One is a man, 30s, white, wearing a casual t-shirt but carrying himself like he owns the gravity in the room. They don't look at the helicopter. They don't look at the sheriff. They don't look at Sterling. They walk through the dust storm toward Elias. Sterling runs forward, trying to regain control. Sterling, you can't land here. This is an active investigation scene. Who are you? The woman stops. She turns to Sterling. She doesn't yell. She just looks at him with the same detached boredom Elias had in Act 1. Woman, I'm Sarah. I'm the CEO of Apex Tech, the company you work for. Sterling freezes. His mouth opens, but no sound comes out. Woman. And this is David. He's the Deputy Undersecretary of Infrastructure for the White House. David ignores Sterling entirely. He walks up to Elias. Elias stands on the porch. He puts the garage opener in his pocket. David, voice cracking slightly. Hey, Dad. Elias. You're late. David. Traffic was bad. Elias. Excuses. Elias walks down the stairs. He doesn't hug them, not yet. He walks past them towards Sterling. Sterling is shaking. His career is ending in real time. Elias, Mr. Sterling. Sterling, whispering. I didn't know. Elias. Ignorance is not a defense. It is a choice. Elias turns to Sarah. Elias. He dug a trench in my yard. Sarah. I see that. Elias. Fill it back in. Sarah. Yes, sir. Elias, with a shovel. Sarah looks at Sterling. She points to the shovel leaning against the bulldozer. Sarah. You heard him. Start digging. Sterling looks at the shovel. He looks at the helicopters. He looks at the sheriff, who is slowly backing away, wanting no part of this. Sterling picks up the shovel. Elias turns his back on him. He walks to the picnic table. The wind from the rotors has blown the napkins away, but the bread remains. Elias sits in the middle seat. David sits on the left. Sarah sits on the right. The scene does not end with cheering. It does not end with a high five. It ends with the sound of metal scraping dirt. Chunk, scrape, chunk. Sterling is digging. Elias breaks the bread. He hands a piece to David. He hands a piece to Sarah. Elias, eat. You look thin. Sarah, I missed your bread. Elias. I know. That's why I bought extra. The camera pulls back. We see the three of them eating quietly at the table in the middle of a torn-up yard. Behind them, a millionaire bureaucrat is manually filling in a ditch in his Italian leather shoes. Elias takes a sip of his coffee. He looks at the tree line. The silence returns. But this time, it is his silence. Fade to black. Text on screen. The deed to the land was transferred to the Elias Vance Trust that afternoon. Sterling was fired before the sun went down. Elias,